So yeah.
Exactly. You do what you can. I guess the idea is that you do as much as you can, but also if this is your first active proper class back, if you find you spend half of it feeding or settling your baby and like kind of one eye on what we're doing but not really joining in, then that's actually probably enough for your first class back. So just scale it all back down, have really low expectations, and then you know what you get done is a bonus. And even if you're just kind of listening to what we're talking about and then applying some of this pelvic floor core stuff throughout your day, it will start to go in and make a difference. So no big pressure for today. Just see how it goes, and whatever your baby needs, you go ahead with whatever your baby needs.
Thank you so much. Okay.
Oh, you're so welcome, Tatiana. So how old's Rosa? 4 months?
Yes, she's 18 weeks, I think.
Oh, and is this your first kind of class back to anything?
Yes, it is actually. So yeah, that's the other thing. I guess I haven't really been doing much.
Yeah, so good to start at the basic level and we'll work everybody up from there.
Okay.
Oh, that's brilliant, darling. Okay, and then who else have we got? We've got Emma. Hi, darling.
Hi.
How are you doing?
Yeah, I'm fine, thank you.
How many weeks in are you now?
6 weeks.
Yay.
Yeah. Just feeding her at the moment.
Oh, keep feeding. That's absolutely fine. Do you want to tell everybody her name?
Yeah, Eden. And yeah, she's 6 weeks old.
Brilliant. And how are you feeling? Have you got any aches or pains anywhere?
Just feeling just a bit stiff from feeding, and just feel like I've been hunching my shoulders a lot, and I just need to stretch out and get moving again, because with lockdown I've just been very sort of static really, so just feel like I need to create some space everywhere.
Yeah, so we'll probably do some of the familiar moves that you're all really aware of from the pregnancy class that just get the circulation going and just get moving and get making a bit of space. We'll do all those lovely basic ones that you already feel comfortable with. And then what we'll also look at is some really good pelvic floor core support stuff, just to help get that pelvic floor nice and strong again after all the load bearing of pregnancy. You know, for 9-10 months those muscles have had a really good old stretch, as in birth, whether they came out vaginally or came out via cesarean where we've actually then had to cut our tummy muscles. Either way, pelvic floor is really, really, really important. So when we get those nice and strong, then that's going to help you not get backache. And just leading in from something Sally was saying just before everyone jumped in, she was saying she'd really like to start running again. So what we need to do, Sally, is get those pelvic floor muscles all strong and engaged to support the core, like a corset of tummy muscles that go around the belly and into the back. And that means when that's all working and engaged, you can definitely start running. And the thing that you'll notice is that you'll be able to do a little run and feel fine. If you end up doing a little run or you know, any kind of bouncing around exercise, whether that's a really fast yoga class or some HIIT thing or whatever, anything like that, if you do running or any of those things, and then afterwards that night or the next day, if you've got a backache down here, you know that you've actually really overdone it, and all of the pelvic floor is not strong enough to support the core and the back yet. So then you have to go back to the mat and do another kind of 2-3 months on the floor to get that core strength back in, and then have another little test run, see how it goes. Don't go too far. The danger with bouncing and with running before we're ready is because they're really slack, those muscles. We don't want you to create a prolapse, worst case scenario, or just delay those muscles getting nice and strong and taut again, which will help protect your back and also help protect you with things like, you know, having a little wee when you laugh, cough and sneeze. We want to basically ward off all of that as well. So it's very much, let's build the foundations back up first, the pelvic floor and the core, and just getting the whole body moving. And then in 3, 4, 5 months time, start thinking about your old exercise regime and slowly stepping into that, testing, is it working? If not, back to the mat. Okay, so it's kind of the idea of what we're going to be doing. Emma, was there anything else you wanted to share about how you feel?
No, I don't think so.
All right, darling, thank you. And then we've got Lindsay. Hello, Lindsay.
Hi. Hello.
And who have you got there?
This is Bodhi. He's 14 weeks. Yeah, not feeling too bad, just stiff, hunch, you know, all the things. Really want to, definitely in my kind of lower back, feeling a lot of stiffness. And I had a cesarean, so starting to sort of get back to normal after now 14 weeks. But yeah, still a way to go.
Okay. How did you feel after your practice last week with me?
Yeah, good, thank you. Yeah, it was, you know, it was an interesting class. He probably let me do about half of it. But we'll see how we go today. He's got a little bit of an earache, so we'll see how we go. He's been a bit grizzly, but we'll give it a try, eh?
Totally cool. You do what you can, and I think, as I was saying at the beginning, if you get about half done, that's probably enough for your first kind of exercise back. You know, half an hour is probably more than enough, and then build on it slowly. So we've got quite a long time together, so if you only get half done, then that's a massive tick.
Yeah.
And we definitely do lots of nice things for the back.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm just going to go back to the top because slightly you didn't really get a huge chance to talk where everyone was jumping in on the call. Is there anything else you wanted to share about how you're feeling, or any other bits of the body you want to get into?
No, I'm feeling pretty well. I started doing some exercise when I was 6 weeks, and he's 15 now. So I've been doing loads of pelvic floor and such. I'm not feeling anywhere close to what I did before I got pregnant, but but I didn't expect to, so it's fine.
Yeah, so you've made a good start, which is great. So
I'm just really bad at stretching on my own, so to have the class and you to guide me through that, much better.
Okay, fine, fab. And what we'll do is I'll always offer kind of level 1 for everyone who it's their first class, and then I'll pop in some maybe more challenging things, and if Starly you want to have a little go at those, you can, and if not, just drop back to level 1. But everybody else, just make sure you stick with level 1 for the first few classes until you get the hang of it, because obviously Starly's been doing some training for week 6, so that's 9 weeks worth of pelvic floor exercises she's had that you guys haven't. So don't rush to do the next level, okay? So if I offer it, be really honest with yourselves and stay at the level that works for your body today.
I might too.
But just take your time. Cool. And Sally, did you have a cesarean or a vaginal birth?
Vaginal birth with a level 3 tear, so.
Okay.
Yeah.
So even more reason why those pelvic floor exercises, we need to get them done, you know, that level 1 stuff really nailed.
Exactly, yes.
Perfect. Okay, and then Lucy, just checking in with you because we haven't heard how you're feeling. How are you doing, Lucy?
Yeah, I'm fine. I think physically I feel much better this time round, but I think mentally this whole lockdown is just kind of, it's pretty tough. It is pretty tough, but there's not really much we can do about it, is there? So I think just like even just being here now doing this is good, because it's just a bit of time out and doing something for me, really. Just need to do a bit for me, I think. And
nice to see other faces and have a chat and just feel like the world is there.
Yeah, exactly. So
great. And do you mind if I ask, did you have a cesarean or a vaginal birth?
Vaginal.
Okay, cool. And you're just generally feeling kind of all right? Things are healing and recovering?
Yeah, I mean, I did tear secondary, but that's healed quite well now. So, yeah, I kind of feel like I've healed quicker than the first time. So I don't know if the stitching was better, or I don't know, but I do feel all right. Yeah.
Brilliant. That's fab. Thank you. Cool. And then Tatiana, was there any bits of the body you wanted to get into?
I've had a few sort of health issues since Rosa was born that isn't sort of directly related to birth. But the thing maybe that would be really good is anything around stomach. And sort of just giving stomach some space, you know. that sort of stuff.
So is it to do with separated tummy muscles, or is it to do with like digestion? Is it muscles?
Digestion. I think they're doing some I think they might have some investigations, but I just had like a few different symptoms, and it's just really all kind of weird. And yeah, it's more like digestion and giving and having that, you know, openness. Yeah.
Okay, cool. Perfect. All right, ladies. Does anyone else need to let me know anything else before we start? I know we've kind of jumped around in our hello circle, but have you all said everything I need to know? Yeah? Little thumbs up. Okay, wonderful. So I'm going to mute you all just so that the screen doesn't jump about. If someone shuffles or a baby makes a noise, it will just stay focused on me. I'm going to have you on gallery view so I can see what you're all doing. And if there's a way for you to tilt the camera so I can actually see your body while we're practicing, ideally from the side like this, then that would be amazing. So then I'll be able to kind of maybe give you some actual feedback, which would be really useful. Don't worry if that's not possible. And then, like I said, if you need to hold the baby, feed the baby, jiggle the baby, please go ahead and do anything that you need with them. We'll build in some baby practices as the classes progress, but for today we're going to try and focus mainly on you. And if they need a bit of interaction, just give them lots of eye contact, smiles. Clicky fingers work really well as a little distraction, and wiggly fingers. So you can always use those little tactics. I'm going to get my toy baby out so that I've got something to demonstrate with. She's a bit little, but this is who I'm going to be practicing with. And I'm just going to make the screen go a bit like that. Now, if I do jump around, you can always pin video. So then I'm definitely going to be coming up nice and big on your screen. If anything doesn't feel right, if something feels jarring or tugging or pulling and you're like, that doesn't feel right, just stop the movement or try and move a little bit slower. And if you need to get my attention, just unmute yourself and give me a little shout, okay? So don't feel that just because you're muted, you can't engage. You're absolutely welcome to unmute yourself and give me some feedback along the way. Okay, so are we ready to begin? So lovely to see you all. Okay, so just grabbing a pillow or a blanket, anything that you can put underneath your bottom. So you've got a little bit of comfort and a little bit of height. And if you need a drink nearby, have some water. Always going for comfort in this class. Now your babies might well be in your laps, just lying down in your laps or sitting up, whatever's comfortable for you and your baby. You can also hold them up on the shoulder, just wherever you're content. And if your hand's free, or they're next to you, you can maybe just have one hand on their tummies. They might even be in front of you. So just wherever you feel they need to be is absolutely fine. If you have got hands free, we're going to turn the hands up for an uplifting practice. And just think about receiving in anything you need a little bit of today. So maybe a little bit of energy, a little bit of positivity, or a little bit of calm. Whatever it is you feel you need, you're going to just be breathing that in through your hands. So if you can, go ahead and close your eyes. That would be amazing. But obviously, totally understand you might have kind of your eyes a little bit open, just keeping an eye on the babies. But wherever you are, just start to relax your face and see if you can draw your awareness inwards. And as we draw our awareness inwards, can we start to relax our bodies? Perhaps feeling a little bit heavier down into our sitting bones and down into our legs. Just noticing the touch of our weight upon the floor. And just letting that connection down into the earth deepen with every exhalation. So we often spend a lot of our lives rushing around from pillar to post, spinning plates, juggling this, that and the other. But this hour is for you and your babies, just to get into the body, Get out of the mind, to slow down and to become present. So just feeling the touch of your body as you arrive onto the mat, and imagining you can lean back against a wall. Just start to feel the length of your spines as you just take the weight back ever so slightly. And then feel the head lightly balanced on the top of the neck, and maybe just give it a little sway softly from side to side. Taking one ear down to one shoulder, and then the other ear down to the other shoulder, and just start to get a feel for the weight of the head. Maybe the neck pops and creaks. And then just bringing the head back so that first of all the chin's level, then dropping the chin a few degrees so the back of the neck is lengthening up towards the sky. Now take a deep breath into your whole body. Have that sense of expansion, and then exhale, a nice big sigh. Now we can breathe like we did in pregnancy yoga, in through the nose and out through the mouth. Or if you want something a little bit more relaxing and you're able to do this, just breathe in and out through the nose. But think about controlling the breath from the back of the throat again. So you kind of draw the breath in via the back of the throat, through the nose, and then squeeze the breath out from the back of the throat, through the nose. So the breath starts to sound a little bit like Darth Vader. It's Ujjayi breath, if you're familiar with that. Just how we did it in pregnancy yoga. But maybe today, if you can keep it in and out through the nose, it's going to help keep your heart rate level, calmer, and send more grounding signals around your body. So taking the biggest breath in all the way to the fingers and the toes, feel that sense of inflation with the breath, a buoyancy, and then exhale, let it all go. Now on the next few exhales, what I want you to really focus on is your pelvic floor. So breathe in fully into a nice soft tummy. And we can even bring the hands onto the tummy now, or just one hand if you've got one hand on a baby. We're going to breathe into the tummy and let the tummy relax. And the hands are quite low down, kind of in between the hips, beneath the belly button. And then as you exhale, start to send that breath out of the body and just begin to gather up through the pelvic floor. And then as you inhale, relax it all again, let it go. And then every exhale, just a light squeeze through the pelvic floor. Now it can be useful when we start to bring in the pelvic floor exercise to sort of shift the breath. So it can be useful to blow through a tiny hole in the lips as you breathe out. So if we're blowing out that candle breath, so it becomes a really long exhalation. And with that long exhalation, can you just gather up the pelvic floor? And we might feel the pelvic floor responding more from the front, in towards the center, or you might feel it more from behind, around the anus, and then in towards the center. You might feel it at the front and the back at the same time, or you might really just feel it around the vagina, drawing in and up. So whatever you notice is absolutely fine. Also postnatally, some women can't feel anything at all. So just throwing that out there, if we're doing these exercises and you're thinking, yeah, I have no idea what you're talking about, that's completely normal. Just keep trying to engage those muscles between your legs as if you're trying not to have a wee and trying not to break wind all at the same time. And we're looking for quite a subtle squeeze. So rather than going 10 out of 10 massive squeeze, see if you can go about 3 out of 10. So a more subtle but deeper squeeze. That's going to ensure we're really activating the correct muscles. It's really important. So every inhale, soft tummy. Every exhale, light gathering in and up. So it's almost like a little suction, like a little plunger action coming all the way in and up through the center of the body, completely all around the vagina walls. So it feels like they draw together and then maybe lightly lift. And then as you breathe in, just let it all soften and relax, and breathe into soft hands, soft belly. We're going to do 3 more here. Biggest, slowest exhales that you can. So another key tip is start to blow before you go. So it's a silly little phrase that will hopefully stay in your mind, but blow out the breath through your lips for a couple of moments, then engage through the pelvic floor, and then keep that engagement on in the pelvic floor all the way to the end of the exhalation, and then gently release the pelvic floor with control. Let's see if we can do that again. We're going to inhale, everything soft, we're not doing anything with the muscles. Exhale, blow before you go. Now engage the pelvic floor, light squeeze in and up. Keep exhaling all the way to the end of the breath, and then release the pelvic floor at the end. Inhale. And one more time. Exhale, blow before you go. Then lift up through your pelvic floor. Light squeeze between your legs. Keep blowing all the way to the end. And then exhale, release the pelvic floor. Good, so just relax that all off for a moment. Maybe do a few little circles. Completely just let it go. Just circling the upper body and starting to get a bit of movement in. Now what you might have found is at the end of the exhale, when it was, can you release the pelvic floor with control, they might have already just dropped and you're like, oh, where's it gone? That's really normal. If you can start to release with control, amazing. Sometimes it's a little bit of work in progress to get there, so don't worry if it's not happened today. Now we're going to stir the body the other way, taking a deep breath in and a deep breath out. And we're going to come back to that pelvic floor core support pretty much consistently through the practice. At any point, if it just gets too much for your head to hold with everything else, just let it go, do the movements, enjoy the movements, and then come back to the pelvic floor when you can. Great, so hands onto the knees. We're going to exhale round the back this time, so coming into a little cat pose, and then inhale, open the chest, shoulders down and back, chin up. And then exhale, curling up into a little ball, tailbone under. And then inhale, open the front of the body. Now this time with your exhale, can you find that sucking in and up through your pelvic floor? Just find that little internal squeeze. And then inhale, relax the pelvic floor as you open the shoulders down and back. Exhale, draw in the pelvic floor. Maybe feel the belly drawing in towards the spine here. And then inhale, open the chest. So top tip, just remember that as we exhale, we're blowing before we go, and then that light squeeze is only about 3 out of 10 in strength. So we're not going for a 10 out of 10 squeeze. We're looking for something that's less than half of that, 3 out of 10. So exhale, round your back. See if you can bring the chin down, draw up through the pelvic floor, just a light squeeze, and then inhale, open the whole front of the body. Great, now coming back into just a nice seated pose. I'm going to undo the legs for a moment and just give your feet a little wiggle. We'll do our little circles that you all know, just to get some movement into those extremities. And if it's okay for your hips, we're going to also circle the whole of the legs. So not just the ankles and the feet, but let the whole of the legs get involved. Lift up tall through the body. So if you find that you're feeding for a little bit of the practice, still keep going with the pelvic floor breath as I cue. So you'll be doing loads of extra pelvic floor exercises. So even here, inhaling, growing tall, exhale, little squeeze with those muscles between the legs. Good, now we're going to stir those arms and legs and feet the other way. Lovely circles the other way. Deep breath in, reach up tall through the waist. Exhale, squeeze the pelvic floor. So we're blowing before we go, drawing up through the pelvic floor, and then at the last minute you might feel your belly, just beneath the belly button, draw into the spine. So that's the third point that you might be looking for. Good, now bring those arms down, have a little flop and take a big sigh. And just relax here for a moment. Good. Really good. So I'm just going to show you this next one on the side. You're going to keep the legs out in front of you, the toes back towards you. So the legs are really activated. We're pressing down with the calves, and then we're going to have the arms up at shoulder height. So a nice straight spine here first of all, shoulders down and back, feet active, We're going to inhale here nice and tall, and then exhale, just start to suck up through that pelvic floor. Draw the muscles in and up, draw the belly in as you exhale, and then just start to round the upper body forward. As we round forward, imagine I've got my hands around your waist and I'm pulling your waist towards the wall behind you. So we're really rounding the top of the body and pulling the waist behind us towards the wall behind us. So we've got this kind of equal and opposite move going on. We're going to take a breath here and then exhale, roll up one vertebrae at a time. So it's a really slow move back up to center. So rather than hinging from the hips and just going ugh and coming into a forward bend, we're getting tall. Imagine the waist is coming back. So as if you've got hands around your waist, pulling you back. So this part of the body can't move forward. And then I'm just going to exhale and round, almost as if we're rounding over a barrel, round the shoulders forward as we keep scooping the tummy and the pelvic floor in and up. We're going to inhale in this rounded over position, and then exhale, start to stack the spine as you come back up. So if you've not done this one before, it can be a little bit weird. I really like to imagine I've got hands right round my waist, really pulling me back, and then I'm trying to move forward away from them, kicking out through my feet, reaching out with my hands, and then coming back slowly. Good, we're going to roll the shoulders here. And just open the legs up just a little bit wider. Just going to get a little bit of mobility in, pressing the calves down again. We're going to reach up tall with the hands and then take one hand down to opposite foot. So reach towards the toe. Inhale back up to center. So exhaling, blow before you go, draw the pelvic floor in, and then reach the opposite hand to the opposite foot. The other arm is coming all the way back behind you. So it's a lovely kind of little zigzag with the arms. Inhale, back up. Exhale, engage through the pelvic floor. Draw your tummy in so we're strong in our core. Inhale, nice reach up to the sky. Exhale, keep kicking out through those heels. Spread your toes as wide as you can. And also reach out with your fingertips. Great, keep pressing the calves down so the legs are really activated, and also try and keep your hips level onto the mat. I'm just going to do a couple more sets here. Inhaling up to the top, exhaling, reaching out, sucking in the core. Big inhale, blow before you go, engage the pelvic floor, then move. Last set, inhale up. Exhale down, inhale up, exhale down. Well done. Now we're going to bring the legs back into easy pose, but this is always, we always pick our favourite side. So just quickly swap the legs around to find the less favourite side. And then sitting up really tall, let's get into the neck and the shoulders here. So shoulders down and back. I'm going to start with the hands down low near the floor. Sitting up really tall, we're already maybe activating the core, but to get a little bit more in, spread the toes and see if you can feel your pelvic floor and tummy respond just from spreading the toes. Probably just to add an extra bit of engagement in the belly and between your legs. And then stretch out with the fingertips. So like we've got puppet strings, pulling on every toe and pulling on every finger and pulling us up through the crown of the head. Now keep breathing as we circle the arms. Deep breath in, keep the feet and the hands super active. Deep breath out. Now as we breathe out, we're going to make a kind of ha sounding breath as the arms come up. So it's inhale, ha, ha. And as we make that long, noisy ha exhale, keep squeezing your pelvic floor and your belly. You're going to bring the arms all the way up. Ha. So it's something about making sounds that help us find our core. When the arms are overhead, let the hands face each other. Then we're going to stop the arms and start them the other way. Inhale, deep breath in. Inhale. Keep stretching your feet and your toes. One more. And then relax the whole body. Relax the feet, the head, the arms. Take a big sigh. And just notice the sensations as we pause and rest. And maybe lowering the heart rate by taking a few lovely long blowing out the candle breaths, just blowing that breath away. And just notice tingles, that inner sensation, the blood flowing around the body, the heart beating, whatever you feel is brilliant, just checking into the body. And then sitting up tall, let's bring the hands onto the shoulders and then elbows towards each other. Inhale, lift the arms up, take the elbows back, keeping them at shoulder height, zip them back up again. So inhale, lift up, exhale, elbows together. So this is one that you all know from the pregnancy class. See if you can keep your rib cage really high and at the same time sink down into your hips. So we're trying to make space from our pelvis to our ribs. We're trying to lengthen the waist. At the same time, start to spread your toes just to bring in that little bit of core support. And then just see how this feels through the shoulders. One more here. And exhale. So keep everything on in the body. Keep the feet working. We're just going to bring one arm all the way up. And then keeping the shoulders and the hips facing the front. Just turn the head and press the hand down behind you as if you're pressing something down into the ground. But keep the shoulders level. We're not taking the shoulder back. Inhale, reach up tall. Exhale, look behind you, squeeze the pelvic floor in and up into the body as you press something heavy back into the ground. So we're self-resisting with that arm. Inhale, reach up again. Everything stays level with the front except for the head. Turn the hand away, press it down, feel that work through the core and back to center. Well done. Other side. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, turn the head and press that heavy pretend object into the floor. So imagine there's something resisting you. Inhale, keep spreading the toes, activate the core, blow before you go, draw the tummy in and up. And one more time, deep breath in and deep breath out. Good, now a couple of little shoulder rolls here. And then take the arms up and then grab the hands and just do some little zigzags with the arms. Just making a little bit of space across the chest and the rib cage. Now just take a lovely big full breath in to the chest. Expand in between every rib and a lovely big sigh. Try and almost lean the head back ever so slightly rather than jut the chin forward. Good, now just pause here with the arms in one position. Use a bit of weight from pulling on the hand. Try and get the hands down as far behind you as you can. And then the other side. And we're going to just pause there, just gently drawing that hand down. Maybe feeling what's going on in the shoulder blades. Take a deep breath in. And release. A couple of lovely shoulder rolls here. Get the neck working, looking up. And looking down. Really well done, you guys. And then just shake out the arms. Okay, so just give me a little thumbs up. Are you all feeling okay so far? Brilliant, brilliant. Now we're going to turn around now and lie down on our backs for some more kind of getting into that core. Now we found the pelvic floor, let's see what we can do with it. Really good idea for you to have a pillow under your head and maybe just the very tops of your shoulders. And as you come down, what I want you to be really mindful of postnatally is not to do this. So you're not going to do a kind of roll down or a sit-up yet. That's just a little bit too strong. We'll work up to that. So for now, you come down on from your side. You might need to bring the babies with you if they need a cuddle, and maybe they can just lie next to you on a little pillow or a blanket. And once you're on your side, then it's easier to roll onto your backs. Now, the pillow's just under the shoulders and under the head, so that we can really nicely just look down the body a little bit. That would be great, just to be able to see what we're doing in the tummy, in the belly. So we really want your full attention here if your babies are gonna let you have 5 minutes. So setting this up, what we want to do is be quite flat down here through the tummy. So what I mean by that is these lower ribs want to be resting down. So rather than arching the chest up to the sky, we want to feel a little bit more contained, a little bit more like a tube around our waist. And as we look down the body, just check in that the knees and the feet are hip distance apart. So just have an idea where the top of your hips are. You can put your fingers on there, and your thighs are going straight up away from those hips, and your feet are hopefully straight out in front of them. You might be able to, with your fingers, just reach the back of the heels. That's also another little indication you've got your feet in the right place. Now, hands on the belly. All we're going to start off with is just a little rock and roll through the pelvis. So just seeing how that feels in your lower back as you basically take the tailbone down towards the floor. It's going to lift the back of the waist off the ground just ever so slightly. And then as you roll the tailbone up towards the ceiling, it's going to press the back of the waist into the mat. And we just want to explore this real lovely level 1 movement first of all. So shoulders down and back, eyes looking down maybe towards the knees, and just start to rock and roll the pelvis. Now we're going to inhale as we drop the tailbone down towards the floor, and then exhale, blow before you go, maybe making that ha breath as you roll the tailbone up towards the sky. Then inhale, roll the pelvis back down. Exhale, rolling the tailbone up, pressing into the back, into the floor. Good, and that's all we're doing. We're not lifting the pelvis off the floor. We're just rolling it one way and the other. Now, another lovely breath practice that we can do here, so we really know we've engaged the core, is as we blow out maybe the ha breath. That can work really well, so it can look and sound like this. Ha. Ha. So it's a very noisy ha from the back of the throat. Or you can try the S breath, which sounds like the phonic S. So it would look like this. Inhale, roll the tailbone back to the ground. Exhale, tailbone to the sky. So see if you can do that for 2 or 3 more times. Just as you blow out, feeling those muscles from the front, the back and the middle, just gathering in and up again, and feeling perhaps under the hands this time, just the muscles under the hands, just gently engaging. So the hands are resting on the lower belly, kind of along the knicker line. Just be careful if you've had a cesarean, you're not just prodding it with your fingers, just have the hands quite flat on the tummy. And as you exhale and roll up, can you feel just a little bit of engagement in those tummy muscles? It feels like a little trampoline of engagement underneath the flesh. Again, don't worry if you can't find that. Okay, so now we're going to go for a bit more of a full roll up. So you can keep your hands where they are on the tummy, or you can press them down into the floor. We're going to stay with that exhale. So exhale, blow the breath out, then start to tilt the tailbone up. Pressing into the feet, send the knees away and just roll the bottom up. So you're getting nice strong thighs, and we can look down the body and see these hips. We're going to check their level, that they're not wonky. Inhale at the top, and then exhale, link by link, drop the spine back down to the floor. Slowly let the pelvis rest, and then let the tailbone nod down towards the ground. So you finish that movement just like we were doing in our pelvic tilts. So you end up with a little gap underneath the waist. Inhale there at the bottom. Exhale, tailbone rolled up, press into the back, slowly roll up through the spine, hold it at the top. Inhale at the top, exhale, roll down vertebrae by vertebrae. It's like you're laying your spine down like a heavy chain, link by link, and then let the sacrum land, and then the tailbone just kind of go towards the floor. Good. It looks like you're doing really well, guys. So a couple more here, exhaling, rolling up, just pressing it into your feet. Now imagine you've got a block between your legs that you're squeezing with your thighs. Start to feel the thighs working in the glutes as you inhale. Then exhale, keep it all engaged as you slowly roll down. Now if this isn't for anyone, if this feels too hard, you can go back just to the rocking and rolling of the pelvis. If you're okay with this one, we're going to do 3 more. Exhaling as we roll up, pressing into the feet, squeezing that imaginary block as we inhale and hold it, squeezing our bums. Then exhale, rolling down, link by link. Take your time. So moving slowly means you're going to get more work. Moving with momentum means you basically miss out the hard work. So a couple more, last ones. Exhale, rolling up. I'm just going to come and watch you all, the last couple. Breathing at the top, imagining you're squeezing something between your legs. And then exhaling, slowly rolling down. Beautiful. Now have your eyes on the belly for this very last one, ladies. As you roll up, just make sure your tummy isn't kind of doming up like a loaf of bread. We want to blow the breath out before we go, find the pelvic floor, and kind of scoop the lower belly in. So as we roll up, our belly should look fairly flat. And if it starts to dome up like a loaf of bread, then it's probably that you're putting too much pressure. You're maybe trying too hard, and just ease off a little bit. Make it a little bit easier for yourself. So one more here if you can. I've got my eye on Lucy and Lindsay. Hopefully, Emma, you're still working really hard on your pelvic floors. Well done, darling. Good. That's it, Sally. So just look down at your tummy for a minute while you're there, Sally, if you can. See if you can bring your feet in a bit closer to your bum. Take a breath in and a breath out. Blow out, get the pelvic floor coming in and draw the belly down. There you go. That's it. And then on your next inhale, squeeze the legs as if you're squeezing a block. And then exhale, roll down really slowly. That was great, Lindsay, by the way. Really, really good work. Okay, so let's have a little look. We got a little thumbs up. Is this all making sense for everybody so far? Brilliant. Okay, so the next one, the thing with these floor work ones is that it feels like if I just take my leg out to the side and bring it in, I can kind of do it with no effort and no core on, and it's just like a hip moving. But what I want to do is really activate the core to make sure the movement's coming from this center. So I'm using these limbs as extra weights, and that's going to make my core get stronger quicker. So just making sure that you're comfortably on your back, which means maybe having a little roll around from side to side, finding that sacrum, and then just rolling the tailbone up, feeling the back press into the floor, rolling the tailbone down, feeling the back of the waist come up, and then finding somewhere in the middle. So you're in a natural curve through the spine. So I'm not pressing my back all the way into the mat. I've got a tiny gap in the waist, but I'm not also arching it off the floor. So I want you to find that Goldilocks point where your back feels quite natural. A little bit, if anything, a little bit of the tailbone going down towards the floor, just to keep that little arch in the back, is better than pressing your back into the ground. So hopefully that all makes sense. Now hands on the tummy, we're looking down at the belly and we're making sure that everything's kind of sacking down and in, okay? So inhale, soft tummy, exhale, start to make your S breath, Feel your pelvic floor squeeze in and up, and just feel the muscles under your hands from your belly button down towards your pelvis. Just feel that lightly engage. And we're going to just pretend to lift the right foot off the floor, but we've glued it down, it can't move. We're just going to pretend to lift it and feel how all that work really activates the core. We're going to hold it there as we breathe in and out, just trying with all our might to lift this right leg up, but it's completely glued on the floor. So it might only come up, it might feel like it's a millimetre of lightness off the floor, but the foot's still touching. And then rest the foot down and relax your whole body. So we haven't even had to lift the limb to get the work. So on the next side, inhale, soft tummy. Exhale, start to pretend to lift the left leg off the floor. So the left leg's engaged, the glutes engaged, the pelvic floor's engaged, the tummy's engaged. The leg thinks it's about to leave the ground, but it's not gone anywhere. We're just trying to lift it up, but it's glued to the floor as we breathe in and out for 3, for 2, for 1, and then release the leg and relax your body. Good. Take a big breath in, a big breath out, reset. On your next exhale, S breath, start to lift the right foot as if you're going to lift it off the floor. Really work the hold of the leg. So imagine I've got my hands on your foot, I'm trying to push it back down and you're lifting up against that, but we can't go anywhere. And then you're going to feel this engagement through your core, through your pelvic floor. And if you move your hands up and down your tummy, you should feel a little bit of work in the belly. And if you look down the tummy, it should look quite flat. We don't want to see any doming shapes. So if you're getting into doming, you're probably trying a bit too hard, ease off a little bit. And then release that leg. Last time on the other side. Inhale, relax everything. Exhale, S breath. And then go to lift the left leg off the floor. We're just going to keep our heads on the pillow, but just peer down at your tummy. And with your hands and your eyes, just make sure that your belly's not doming up like a big loaf of bread. If it is, just come back out and go back to the rocks. Rocking the pelvis up and downs. I'm going to hold this for 3, for 2, for 1, and release. Good. Now just give yourself a little wiggle with the knees from side to side. Just make that feel nice as you ease that out through the back. It can be nice as the knees come over one way to look with the head the other way. So we're just building in a really gentle little twist. Just breathing into the back of the body here. Good. Now I'm going to just leave the lower half alone for a moment. So once you feel comfortable in that lower half, it can be nice just to lift up the bottom, give it a little wiggle and slowly let it land so you feel really comfortable around the pelvis. Just bring the knees to touch and pigeon toe your feet. So take the heels out and the toes in, and then the bottom half of the body can just relax. So I'm going to get into the shoulders for a moment because this can take a lot of flack with feeding positions and sleeping positions. So just maybe flattening your pillow. If you've made your pillow into like 2, just bring it back into just 1 level. So you can bring the head down a little bit and keep the chin in and just start to roll the shoulders down and back. So my eyes can just about see my knees, but I'm kind of looking up towards where the wall meets the ceiling, depending on how high your walls and ceilings are. So I'm just kind of looking down the body a little bit. The back of the neck is long and the chin's tucked in. If you find your chin is jutting up in the air or your chest is really flaring, you're going to need an extra pillow. So just check in that you feel long and flat on the floor. And if there's any arching or jutting up with the chin, pop an extra bit of pillow back under your head. Now with the arms, we're just going to take them out to the sides and just rest them open, shoulder height if you've got the room, and take a big breath into the chest. And a big sigh as you relax onto the ground. And another big breath in. And another big breath out. So can we resist the urge to want to do something And can we just be here for a moment, relaxing the back of the head and the shoulders, and just taking a moment to breathe into the heart and relax the whole of the arms and the shoulders and the head and the neck. I'm going to do 3 more deep breaths here. We're going to take 1 breath and just bring the head to look to the right hand, and take an inhale and an exhale, just looking out that way. And your effort here is on doing less. So relax, relax. Notice if there's tension in the shoulders, if there's difficulty. And relax. And then bring the head to center and all the way the other way. And just take 1 or 2 breaths there. Again, can you relax? Can you let it go? Can you let the head feel heavy? And then bringing the head back to center, we're going to make the arms into like a little 90-degree at the elbow bend, and then let them rest on the floor. So this is called cactus arms. We're trying to get the wrists and the elbows down so that we can again open up across the chest. You might need just to fold the shoulder blades down and in towards each other so you feel a little bit flatter across the back. Keep the chin down and in, and again, just take 3 deep breaths here. If the hands have crunched up, open the hands and just reach out lightly with the fingertips. Deep breath into the heart, into the ribs. Expand with the breath, and then exhale. Just deflate back to the ground. 2 more big breaths in, the biggest breaths you've had. Just breathing into the ribs, into the chest, into the armpits, into the elbows, into the fingertips, into the crown of the head, and exhale the breath. Let it all go. And then 1 last one here, biggest breath that you can, into the ribs, armpits, fingertips, head, and exhale. Good. Now taking the head, we're going to interlace the hands behind the head, elbows up to the ceiling, and just rest the head in the hands. So the head and the hands are just a few inches off the floor. You're going to be able to look down the body here, but we're not really using the core. We're just resting into the sacrum and resting the head in the hands. And then we're going to just start to move the arms. So just zigzag the elbows forward and back. And it's going to just let the head swivel slightly from side to side. So I'm just going to sit up and show you this movement so you can see what I was doing. I was just moving one arm one way and the other arm the other way. And with the head just slightly lifted off the floor, it's just super, super lovely for the neck and the shoulders. See if you can just do a couple more little zigzags. And if you're feeding and you've done a load of pelvic floor work, I want you to close your eyes and just start to use your senses to drop into a feeding meditation where you can listen to all the sounds around you and just let all those sounds wash over you. Noises outside, noises in like my voice, noises in the room, the noise of your breath. And I want you just to be aware of the sounds you can hear all around you as you just relax your body and drop into this feeding meditation. And then Lindsay and Lucy on the floor. I'm just going to do a couple of final moves here. Going to release the arms from behind the head, place the head back down, and then taking the arms back out to the side, we're going to inhale and just sweep them all the way back up. Do a few circles with the arms whilst they're over the head, relaxing the shoulders down towards the ground, lengthening the fingers up towards the sky. And then we're going to cross the right arm as far across the left as you can. The fingertips will probably come back to the floor. And then let the elbows rest down towards your thighs. So your arms are on your chest, but try not to let the arms kind of suffocate you around the neck. Lean the elbows away from your face, down towards the legs. And just a little bit of work in the elbows, but take a big breath into the shoulders. And then exhale, relax. And we're looking for a little moment of give. This is great if we've been feeding a lot or sleeping in awkward positions. Just release tension around the neck and the shoulders. Take another 2 big sighs here. Remembering you don't have to go anywhere, but just doing this is enough. But finding that little layer of release through the tension is amazing. One more sigh, let it all. Release the face and the jaw. And then slowly, like the hands have got puppet strings, just lifting up the back of the hands, keep the hands and the arms completely floppy. Let the puppet strings draw the hands back up towards the sky. And slowly let the arms come all the way back out. Feeling this millimetre by millimetre as they come back down towards the floor, and then completely rest the arms. So look to the right and look to the left. Just release the head. We're going to do that one last time. So moving the arms really slowly back up towards the ceiling. A couple of little circles as the arms heavily relax back into their sockets. So the arms want to feel empty, hollow arms, relaxed elbows, kind of ragdoll arms. Cross the left arm over the right this time and just gently reach them away from you as you slowly extend the arms all the way down towards the floor. And then once more, just leaning the elbows on the chest. Just keeping the throat clear. Now big breath into the shoulders. Exhale. Relax the shoulders, release the weight of the arms maybe into the fingertips. Can you quieten the whole of the arms? Take 2 or 3 more breaths here. We're just looking for layers of undoing. There's nothing you can make happen. It happens automatically when we're least expecting it, probably at the end of the exhale. It might feel like the back of the neck and the head release, or something softens deep in the shoulder, or maybe the arms just sink into the floor a little bit more. It's kind of subtle. See if you can notice it on the next exhalation. And then when you're ready, those little kind of butterfly wings, just lifting the backs of the hands up towards the ceilings. If they've got puppet strings, gently drawing them all the way back up. And then back out, and then into cactus arms, just to relax across the chest. Fold the shoulder blades down and underneath you. Take a big breath in and out here. And then setting the feet back up so that the feet are straight, the knees are open. I'm going to just do a final little bit in the pelvic floor. So just pressing into the feet, exhale, roll the tailbone, roll the lower back back up. Inhale at the top. Exhale, roll back down. Just feel that 2 or 3 more times. Easing it out over the lower back, making it feel good, like a little massage. So we always move on the exhale. So exhale, rolling up, tailbone, vertebrae by vertebrae, slowly with control. Inhale at the top. Exhale, lower back, slowly vertebrae by vertebrae comes down, all the way rolling down into the tailbone. Last one, exhale, rolling up. Sending the knees away from you a little bit more this time, just get a little stretch through the thighs. We're going to hold it here, so we press down into the feet. Breathing in and out, maybe squeezing the thighs together as if you're holding a block, and then slowly rolling back down. And we're going to bring the knees into the chest and just have a little roll from side to side. Good. Little roll from side to side. And then you can take the knees into the hands and just do some circles with the legs, just opening up the hips. It might be you can do both at the same time. It might be you might want to do one at a time, circling one way and then circling the other way, just to see how that feels, opening up the knees and the hips. So if you have had a little bit of tearing and some stitches or an episiotomy, then there's a bit of scar tissue, and it can be really nice just to give it almost a gentle stretch, just to help kind of break up the scar tissue, but just do it gently. We want to get that elasticity back into the area. Beautiful. And then we're going to finish with a little breath practice before Shavasana. So if you're on your back, you're going to roll to the side and carefully come up to sitting. And we're going to take our pillows and get really comfortable again. If you're sitting, by all means, lean back against a wall or a sofa or the cot, whatever you've got to lean against, just to be really comfortable. It can also feel really nice to put pillows, blocks or bolsters under the knees. So if the knees feel like they need a bit of extra support, go for that. And at any point, if this is too uncomfortable, just bring one leg out, swap it round to the other leg. Whatever you're comfortable is the best. Good. So we're going to finish with our alternate nostril breathing, which is super grounding and super calming, especially for these crazy kind of troubled, unusual times. And you've got a couple of options here. So you can either use the hand. So you'd use your right hand. So probably you're looking at it and it looks like my left, but it's my right. So you're going to use your right hand. And just bring in the 3 fingers in the middle. And then as you look at your hand, you can see your little finger and your thumb sticking up. Now we're going to close over the left nostril with the little finger. And then just breathe in through the right nostril. Then close over the right nostril with the thumb and exhale through the left nostril. Inhale, quietly, slowly, back up the left side. Exhale, right side. Inhale, right side. Exhale, left side. Inhale, left side. Think about sitting tall, shoulders relaxed. Inhale, back up the side you've just breathed down. And change over to exhale. Inhale, back up the side you've just breathed down. And change over to exhale. So keep going with this rhythm. Just think about leaning back against that imaginary wall, having a tall, straight spine with the head completely balanced on the top, chin down a few degrees, and shoulders soft and relaxed. As you breathe in, feel that breath kind of come all the way up one side of the body, high into the skull. Take it across to the other side of the skull. And as you exhale, feel that breath come all the way down the other side, all the way down the other side of the body and into the sit bone. See if you can get a feeling sense of that breath traveling and making a shape on each side of your body. Inhaling up one side, feeling tall, kind of a bit heady. Exhaling down the other, feeling grounded and rooted. We're going to do this for 1 more minute. So just enjoy these last few breaths. If you find that you are struggling to go back to sleep at night after a feed or a wee, or you've got 5 minutes where you can have a little bit of a relax while the baby's napping in the day, this is a fantastic breath practice that you can do. Even a few minutes will work wonders. And if you get the opportunity to lie down for a little Shavasana afterwards, a little cat nap, even better. So taking your last round of breath, just make sure you exhale down the left side and then just sit for a moment with the hands resting in the lap if the hands are free. And bow the head down. And with the eyes closed, just do a little body scan. Just see how you feel on the inside. Consciously just relax and soften any physical tensions. Let your weight really rest upon the ground. And the mantra I'm going to offer you to say to yourself, I am enough. I am enough. I do enough. I do enough. I have enough. I have enough. And then send yourselves a little smile and a feeling of love, for carving out some time for practice, to give to your body, to give to your mind, to fill yourself up, knowing that the rest of the day you'll be able to go back out there, carrying on with all the things we have to do, all the juggling, a little bit more recharged. We have to fill up our cup first. And we're going to take this lovely feeling with us into Shavasana. So if you're feeding your babies and you need to stay seated, just be as comfortable as you can. Maybe put some supports under your elbows so you're not just holding the baby. Maybe a pillow to hold the baby so you can relax your arms, and by all means stay seated. You can also wiggle yourselves down into lying on your side and feeding on your side if that's comfortable for you. And if your hand's free, you've got a couple of options. You can either come onto the side in the way that we would have done our Shavasana in pregnancy, or if you're really loving being able to lie on your back, and rather than have the pillow under your head, or have two pillows, one under the head, put one or two pillows under your knees. So you make like a little bolster for the knees. The feet are slightly more in towards each other. The knees are just slightly splayed open. And then just kind of come in again from the side. And then as you roll back, just let the legs open. So my legs are making a little diamond shape. And it can be lovely to have the hands on the lower belly, thinking that all that reproductive area has done so much. It can feel really comforting just to rest the hands there. Or on the solar plexus, which is up in between the lower ribs at the top of the tummy, or on the heart, or you can have the hands facing down for more of a grounding practice, or facing up for something a bit more opening, receiving. Just be careful the chin's not jutting up in the sky. Just bring the chin in a few degrees, almost a little double chin, and lengthen the back of the neck and the crown of the head. You might need just to shuffle the shoulders down and in towards each other. Now, whatever position you've chosen for your Shavasana, see if you can close your eyes and just make a tiny hole in the lips as you slowly blow out the candle breath, just blowing out a long thread of exhalation, thinking and feeling the word relax. And perhaps the mantra, I am calm and my baby is calm. I am calm and my baby is calm. And with these lovely long exhalations, just start to feel your whole body softening, relaxing into the ground. Now don't move, you've got to have one eye on your baby and you're kind of half in Shavasana and half out. Just see how much you can get through. So can you relax the head just a little bit more? Can you let it feel just a little bit more heavy? It's absolutely fine to do this in seated. You can even do some little seated circles if you're holding the baby, just swaying it out. And if the babies need a bit of comfort, it can be really nice to drop in a few low ohms. It really settles us, and that can help settle them. And just let yourself drift off into that meditative headspace, somewhere between being awake and being asleep. Relaxing the shoulders and the elbows and the wrists. Noticing sensations in the fingertips, in the center of the palms. Feeling the length of your spine from the back of the neck, vertebrae by vertebrae, all the way down to the tip of the tailbone. We looked a lot at the spine. Can you feel into all of those spaces? And then relaxing the belly completely now, relaxing the pelvic floor. And just remembering as the day and the week progresses, that every time you go to lift something, your baby, or even a pint of water, just blow before you go, gently engage the pelvic floor and the lower belly, and then lift whatever load it is. And that way you get the extra exercise in every time you go to pick something up. It will really help you accelerate your recovery and your fitness. But for now, relax it completely. And then moving down into the thighs, let them feel heavy. And down into the knees, and the shins and the calves, and the ankles and the feet, and into the big toes, the second toe, the third toe, the fourth toe, and the little baby toes. Let your whole body completely relax. So just staying here for another minute or so. Just noticing how your whole body, your mind, your emotions can feel completely relaxed, completely settled. Just in this present moment, just being aware of sensations in and around the body. Maybe feeling the touch of your body on the ground. Maybe having a sense of floating. Just notice whatever's arising for you in this moment as you find your inner calm. And know that whenever we slow down enough, it's there. This inner feeling is from your heart. It's an expression of your deepest self. And whenever you need to access it, just slow down, slow the breath, press pause, give yourself a moment, and it will always be there. It's a great place to come from when things start to get a little bit hectic, a little bit crazy, we get a bit tired or impatient, and we start to react. And we just take a breather, 3 deep breaths and pause, come back into our center, and then we can choose how to respond. So just really pressing save around this feeling that we've cultivated from our practice and our attention and our concentration. Pressing save so it's going to be more readily accessible whenever we need it, day by day, minute by minute. And then gently to come back out of Shavasana, we're inhaling, big breath in. And another big inhale. Maybe wiggling the fingers and the toes, having a gentle bit of movement with the arms into a little stretch. Maybe stretching out the legs, whatever feels good for your body. Listening to all the sounds around you, becoming aware of where you are. Sounds within your space, sounds outside the building. And then another huge inhale. Start to open your eyes. Notice how this feeling that we've cultivated is just present when we're awake as well. It's not just a sleepy thing. It can be an awake thing. And just notice how you feel in this moment as you ease your way out of Shavasana, either pressing into the hands to roll up to sitting, or if you're feeding on your side, just give me a little wave to let me know you're going to stay on your side, but that you're okay and you don't have to move. That's absolutely fine. And when you're back in sitting, I'm just going to unmute everybody. There we go. I just have a little check in. Just see, yeah. Okay, so everybody's unmuted. So just checking in to say thank you so much for coming in and sharing your practice. It's so lovely to have the opportunity to take you through all of that. And I hope you found it really useful and informative. Your homework is blow before you go, little squeeze in the pelvic floor, and then lift the baby. Anything heavy, even a pint of water, squeeze and then lift. So you're constantly having that opportunity to get strong. That's your homework. You guys okay? Any questions?
No, that was really good. Thank you.
No, that was really good. Thank you.
Right,
Amazing. Well done, Lucy.
Claire.
You're so welcome, Emma. Well done, darling. You all right, everybody? Feeling okay?
Yeah, thank you. That was really good, actually.
Yeah.
I feel a lot better.
Amazing. And we
as well.
get a little done. You'll get a little bit different done. You know, they'll sleep at a different point, so you'll get a whole different section done. Oh. So I recorded that class. So what I'm going to do, ladies, is I'm just going to email you a link to it. It won't be available for very long because I haven't got loads of storage, but you'll be able to download it onto your computer and then play that class back so that you can then do a little bit of exercise in your own time.
Brilliant.
Right, thank you.
Thanks.
My pleasure. I thought that might be really handy. All right, lovely ladies. I'll hopefully see you again soon. And if you've got any questions, let me know. I'll be here for another 5 minutes. Otherwise, when you're ready, you can just press the leave meeting button in the bottom right corner. And hopefully I'll see you soon. Tell your friends about it. It'd be nice to have a few more ladies join us while we're online. We can fit a few more in.
Yeah.
Thanks, Claire.
Thank
Bye.
you. Thank
Great.
you.
Thanks, Claire.
You're really welcome. Thanks for
Bye.
coming. Lovely to see you. Bye. Bye, Lindsay. Bye. Bye, Lucy.
Bye, Claire.
Bye, darling. See you soon.
See you soon.
Thanks, hon.